What's up, brand builders? Stephen Horahan here at BrandMasterAcademy.com. And in this video, you're going to learn 7 product branding examples from some of the most loved brands in the world, such as Levi's, Apple, and Nike. So you can understand how big brands elevate their products to not just stand out from the competition, but to develop a cult following all on their own. Now, if you're new to the channel and you want to build brands that go beyond the visuals using strategy, psychology, and creative thinking, then you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. If you want to fast track your results, make sure you grab the Pro Brand Strategy Blueprint. It's a free download and the link is in the description. Now, I created a video recently called What is Product Branding with Strategy, Pros, and Cons. Now, if you haven't seen that video, I recommend it as a great primer to the introduction of product branding. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can check out that video. But to summarize the definition of product branding briefly, it's the discipline of actively building a positive reputation for a product which focuses on the distinction of the product rather than the company. And professional brand strategists are able to achieve this by using effective positioning, distinctive brand assets, and tailored brand messaging, just as they do for any other brand. So why do some big brands use product branding? Well, in reality, there's no one reason, and you need to consider everything from consumer needs to the competitive landscape to the relationship between one product in your portfolio and another. But without a doubt, 2 of the biggest benefits of product branding is distinctiveness and memorability. So your customers can remember not just your business, but your specific products. Now, although the term product branding isn't something that the average Joe on the street would claim to know a great deal about, without a doubt, that Joe knows a lot of product brands. So let's take a look at a few examples. Product branding example number 1 is Ford Mustang. Now, Ford is a brand with real heritage that's been around for so long and was involved in the transport industry's transition from horses to cars. And as Henry Ford once famously said, if I asked people what they wanted, they would have told me faster horses. Now, there are many classic cars in Ford's history, but few with the beauty and the nostalgia as the Mustang. Through roles on the big screen, including Steve McQueen's Bullitt and Gone in 60 Seconds, the Mustang is a product brand that stands out on its own. Buyers don't say that they're buying a Ford, they say they're buying a Mustang. Product branding example number 2 is Nike Air Max. Now, when Phil Knight created a tiny shoe company called Blue Ribbon, focused on track and field, he knew next to nothing about golf, soccer, or eyewear. Now, when Blue Ribbon became Nike and began expanding into different sports and lifestyle categories, the Nike brand turned to product branding for flexibility and specified targeting to speak more directly to niche audiences. Now, the Air Max brand is an example of just one of Nike's product brands, which in itself has grown a cult following. There's a brand called Sneaker Freaker, which is dedicated to cult sneakers. Now, it's got 1.3 million Instagram followers, and they have an entire section on the history and the evolution of the Air Max. And this is just one example of how this cult product brand is celebrated. Product branding example number 3 is Levi's 501s. Now, although Levi's are a distinctly American brand, growing up in Ireland in the 90s, they were the brand of jeans that everyone in my little corner of the world wore. Certainly my group of mates anyway, but the brand Levi's on their own wasn't enough. The Levi's brand was over 150 years old, but they had a 100-year-old product brand that set the bar, that cut the mustard, and that gained approval. It wasn't enough to have a pair of Levi's in my world. If you didn't have a pair of 501s, you had nothing. Product branding example number 4 is Coca-Cola's Sprite. Now, Coke, without a doubt, is one of the most well-distributed products in the world. And there are very few civilized places on the planet that you can go to without finding a Coke in a corner shop, in a market stall, in a vending machine. But as big as Coke is, there are limitations on the slice of the soft drink market share that it can acquire, because quite simply, some people just don't like to drink cola. So in order to both protect the brand equity of Coke and increase its overall market share, Coke has built a portfolio of product brands, including Sprite, Fanta, and Powerade, among many. And these are excellent examples of successful product brands. Product branding example number 5 is Apple's iPhone. Now, when Steve Jobs returned to Apple in 1997, he killed about 70% of the products in development in order to simplify the Apple brand and its product offering. And what remained was a streamlined portfolio of product brands that made consumer decision-making and product reputation growth much, much easier. Now, of course, Apple has many more products today, but they're each masterfully branded from name to design. And although their individual product brands are catapulted from the equity of the Apple brand reputation, they're each known in their market as individual brands, which include the iPhone, the iMac, the MacBook Pro, the iWatch, and the iPad. Product branding example number 6, McDonald's BigMac. Now, although McDonald's release new products all the time, many of them are limited offers, but some products have become the cornerstone of the daddy of the fast food category. Now, many of their favorites are uniquely distinguished as McDonald's products by simply having the Mac before the name. So, for example, McNuggets and the McChicken Burger and everywhere in between. But their poster child product is still the Big Mac. Now, a little side note here, McDonald's actually lost the trademark to the Big Mac in Europe in 2019, and their competitors had an absolute field day by using the name extensively in their menu options as a better alternative, such as the like a Big Mac but actually big, and the Big Macish but flame grilled, of course. So it's absolutely brilliant, but it highlights the point that if you're going to go to the trouble of building brand equity, you'd better be protecting it. Now, just before we jump into some more product branding examples, if you have any questions, drop me a comment below. And of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe, and the notification bell will let you know when I release new videos just like this. Product branding example number 7 is Adobe Photoshop. Now, although Adobe isn't a household name brand, it most certainly is for designers across the world. Adobe has a large portfolio of products that all offer customers different capabilities, which leverage different skill sets. From Photoshop to InDesign and everywhere in between, it would be very easy for Adobe to confuse their customers without leveraging product branding to distinguish between them. Their uniquely colored icons, their image style, and other brand assets make identifying products easy and also allows each of those products to develop their own reputation within niche markets. Now, all of these examples are of brands that have plenty of resources, though that doesn't need to be the case to use this strategy. Product branding is simply one strategy of many that brands can use to distinguish themselves and their products. At the top end, product branding can be as expansive and as expensive as you want it to be. That said, some of the benefits of this strategy can be leveraged simply by naming and distinguishing your products clearly from one to the next. And as with everything in branding, the easier you make your products and services to understand, the easier you make them to buy. Now, as I mentioned earlier, product branding allows for more specified positioning, which is the cornerstone of every brand strategy. If you want to learn more about what brand positioning is with top brand examples, then this video will help you out. Until next time, brand like a master, and I'll see you in the next video.